What is up, beautiful people? Today I'm gonna bring you guys along on my bench session, but I'm not gonna monitor any of my lifts at all. I'm just gonna give you guys really simple bench tips to keep you guys safe. We're not gonna be discussing any kind of form or any debatable subjects like that. We're just gonna be going over some really simple stuff. Let's go. All right, so my first tip for you guys is watch how you pick up weights. Watch how you pick up weights when you're setting up the rack. When you're picking up those 45 plates, I see a lot of people, they don't do it with confidence. They do it with a curved back, their shoulders are down, and they do it in incredibly bad form. So make sure and stay tight. Make sure to not curve your back when you pick up 45 plates. Do it with confidence and do it with purpose. All right, guys, my next tip is really simple, and it's basically how you rack your weights. A lot of people get really caught up in the moment, they're trying to do lots of weight or whatever. They're working out with like 5 friends, they're trying to zip through sets really fast, but put these big 45s up on the rack right here. This particular bench does not have the racks and the little pegs that I'm talking about. They'll hang their weights up here. They'll hang a 35 up on this rack right here. What will happen is if you bring this 45 back, it's going to knock into this weight right here, and you're gonna end up throwing out your shoulder. Something bad is gonna happen. And if you have like really heavy weight on there, it's something that you're not expecting, and you're gonna hurt yourself. All right, so the next tip is to save your fingers, so your fingers do not die and turn into big giant purple messes. And that is, keep your fingers curled whenever you're around the bench, whenever you're leaning on the bench, whenever you're doing something, whenever you're spotting somebody, always keep your fingers curled. Whenever you're, leaning up on something, keep your fingers curled up so that your fingers cannot get smashed in anything. That way it completely eliminates the problem. You just don't have to worry about it. All right, guys, now this next tip is not to offend any girlfriends out there, I promise, but I want to address this. I see a lot of girls at the gym spotting their boyfriends on bench press. They're just not into it, they're just really not doing it, and they end up doing this really weird spot where they stand really far away from their boyfriend, and you end up engaging your lower back a whole bunch. And if he were to drop that weight, if you were to drop 225 pounds and you're standing far away from the bench with your feet, you're going to engage your lower back, and you're really going to hurt yourself. Now what you want to do is you want to keep your feet close to the bench so that way when you lift the bar, it's close to your body and it's staying close to the center line of your body, as opposed to standing really far away from it and lifting the weight completely with your lower back only. All right, now my next tip is in regards to where you place yourself on the bench. You can place yourself a little bit too far over one way like this, and all of a sudden you're going to push the weight over like that. This is terrible. So what I want you guys to do, this is something that I do personally. I use my arms. I will actually drop my arms back like this, and I'll feel where this pad is falling on my tricep. And if it's the same, if it's neutral, I know that I'm in the middle of the bench, like this. Now, if I'm off to one side like this, you can see the pad is gonna hit my tricep. Now watch what happens. This one, I can feel it hitting my tricep. This one goes down, no problem. So I know that when I try and bench press, this is gonna be terrible. So bring yourself in the center, drop your elbows down a little bit, see how your shoulder blades and your triceps are feeling. All of a sudden you can know that you're in the center of the bench. So the very last tip I have for you is breathing. This is something that I used to make this mistake all the time. And what you end up doing is you end up trying to stay tight with your movement. You try and keep your shoulders tight, you try and keep your abdomen tight, you try and keep everything tight. But along with doing that, you kind of forget to breathe. So you end up with this movement right here. You're just stiff and you're not breathing at all. And you could end up literally passing out. So what I want people to do is concentrate on a breathing pattern. My personal breathing pattern is up here. When I come down, I'm breathing in just a little bit, just breathing in. And when I come to the bottom, I quick, out, in, out, in, out. It's almost like you're an accordion. I want you to think that you're an accordion, breathing in, out, and you're breathing in the oxygen and basically power yourself in movement. All right, guys, that is my last tip, but I want to address something real quick. Leave some love for baby girl in the comments, because she is the one that filmed this entire video, and I want to thank her so much. Without her, I wouldn't have been able to make this video, and I really hope this helps you guys a lot with your bench, because I feel like a lot of people aren't thinking about these really simple things. People get really caught up and get a little bit they get really self-conscious in the gym, and they get caught up in people watching them, so they end up doing stuff wrong. They try and do too much weight, they'll break form, they won't breathe like I'm talking about, they do some weird stuff, and so I really hope this helps you guys. I will see you next time. Team Beyond the Week.